The phone call came quietly, without warning, and according to multiple sources familiar with the situation, it lasted less than 15 minutes. But by the time it ended, it had effectively closed the door on what was once described as one of the most ambitious celebrity media partnerships in recent streaming history. Meghan Markle, once positioned as a central figure in Netflix's post-royal expansion strategy, was reportedly left furious after executives informed her that all remaining deals were being terminated. The message, as one insider bluntly summarized it, was unmistakable: "You are not one of us again." If you found this report insightful, take a moment to reflect on how celebrity culture shapes health trends and why responsible conversation matters. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for more in-depth coverage that goes beyond the headlines and keeps you informed as these stories continue to unfold. Share this video, leave your thoughts in the comments section. For years, the Netflix agreement between the streaming giant and Prince Harry and Meghan Markle had been framed as a landmark collaboration. Announced with great fanfare, it promised exclusive documentaries, scripted series, and lifestyle programming that would reshape how royal-adjacent stories were told. Early press releases spoke of shared values, long-term vision, and unprecedented access. Yet behind the scenes, tensions were quietly building, deadlines slipped, and expectations began to diverge in ways that insiders say were impossible to reconcile. According to individuals close to the negotiations, Netflix executives had grown increasingly frustrated with what they described as a pattern of missed deliverables and shifting creative demands. Projects were announced, then delayed. Concepts were approved, then reworked repeatedly. Budgets expanded while concrete results remained limited. One source described meetings where executives asked for clarity and received only vague assurances that something significant was still coming. Over time, that patience began to wear thin. The call that ended it all reportedly came after an internal review at Netflix, where senior leadership reassessed ongoing high-cost partnerships. In an environment where subscriber growth had slowed and scrutiny over spending had intensified, every deal was suddenly under the microscope. According to sources, the conclusion was stark. Meghan Markle, once viewed as a marquee name capable of drawing global attention, was no longer seen as a reliable creative partner who could deliver consistent, bankable content. Those familiar with the conversation say Meghan did not take the news quietly. She was reportedly enraged, pushing back against the decision and questioning how a company that once championed her vision could so abruptly turn away. One person described her reaction as a mixture of disbelief and anger, particularly at the language used by Netflix executives, which emphasized alignment, culture, and trust. The phrase that has since circulated among insiders, "You are not one of us again," was not meant as a personal insult, they say, but as a corporate verdict. The partnership no longer fit Netflix's strategic identity. From Netflix's perspective, the decision was framed as business, not personal. Executives reportedly emphasized that the company was refocusing on creators who consistently delivered completed projects that resonated with audiences. In private discussions, they pointed to internal data suggesting that the couple's existing content, while initially successful, did not sustain long-term engagement at the levels originally projected. In an industry driven by metrics, that distinction matters. Still, the fallout has been significant. For Meghan Markle, the termination represents more than the loss of a lucrative deal. It strikes at the heart of her post-royal reinvention as a global media figure and cultural influencer. Netflix was not just a platform, it was a validation, a signal to Hollywood and beyond that she belonged at the highest levels of entertainment power. Losing that backing, especially in such a decisive manner, sends a very different message. Industry analysts note that Hollywood has a long memory, and streaming platforms talk to one another more than they admit publicly. When a major player like Netflix walks away, other studios inevitably take notice. While no formal blacklisting occurs, questions are asked, risks are reassessed, and enthusiasm can cool quickly. One veteran producer explained it simply: perception is currency, and right now, the perception around Meghan Markle as a producer is under strain. Publicly, neither Netflix nor Meghan Markle has released a detailed statement addressing the reported phone call or the language attributed to it. Official responses, where they exist, have been carefully worded, emphasizing gratitude for collaboration and a desire to pursue other opportunities. But behind closed doors, sources suggest the break was far from amicable. One insider described it as a clean cut, designed to leave no ambiguity about the future. The timing of the split has only amplified its impact. As streaming services face mounting competition and shrinking margins, they are increasingly unwilling to gamble on projects that require extensive development without guaranteed returns. Celebrity alone is no longer enough. Audiences want content, not concepts, and platforms want creators who can deliver on schedule and on budget. In that environment, the patience once extended to high-profile figures has limits. For Meghan Markle, the challenge now is navigating what comes next. Supporters argue that she remains a powerful voice with a loyal following and that one failed partnership does not define a career. Critics, however, see the Netflix decision as confirmation of long-standing doubts about her ability to translate personal narrative into sustainable entertainment ventures. Both perspectives are likely to shape how her future projects are received. There is also the broader question of identity. Since stepping away from royal duties, Meghan has attempted to position herself as an independent media force, distinct from the institution she left behind. The Netflix deal was central to that effort, offering both resources and legitimacy. Its collapse raises uncomfortable questions about whether that reinvention has fully succeeded, or whether the brand she represents remains caught between worlds, embraced by neither Hollywood traditionalists nor the royal establishment. As the story continues to unfold, attention will turn to how Meghan responds publicly and strategically. Will she seek another major platform, or pivot toward smaller, more controlled projects? Will she address the reported comments directly, or allow the narrative to evolve without her input? In an era of constant media scrutiny, silence can be as powerful and as risky as speaking out. What is clear is that this moment marks a turning point. The call from Netflix did more than end a contract. It signaled a shift in how one of the world's most powerful streaming companies views a once-celebrated partnership. For Meghan Markle, it is a reminder that in the unforgiving world of entertainment, alliances are conditional, loyalty is transactional, and status must be continually earned. As viewers and observers, the question is not just what happened behind that closed-door conversation, but what it means for the future of celebrity-driven media deals.